Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 3 of season 2 of our F1 2020 My Team career mode, where today we're here back for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Now obviously if you missed out yesterday's video from Bahrain, you know the drill. At the top right hand side of your screens there'll be a link to that full video, as well as obviously the full playlist so far from this series. But today though, heading to Vietnam, we go into this one with a bit, with a bit of a signpost on the back of our car. Like I said, if you missed out on the last one, definitely go back and check it out, because there will be spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. We lead the championship heading into this weekend by 2 points over Lewis Hamilton, 3 points over Bottas and Sergio Perez. We're second in the Constructors, tied with Racing Point just behind us, and 1 point ahead of Renault as well. It has been, an interesting start to the year, I think it's safe to say, but I cannot stress enough just how important getting upgrades on the car each and every week, as well as obviously getting more sponsors and things like that on board, as well as obviously developing the facilities as well. I also didn't realise George Russell is an absolute machine. He's 86 rated at the moment, and we might be able to up that just a little bit more, because we're going to get the second upgrade on the fitness centre here, so it moderately improves second driver's racecraft and awareness stat. So that will come up on the 12th of April even, I should say, just after this weekend's Grand Prix. So hopefully that'll help George Russell out even more. If he can get up towards 90, I'd be rather happy with that. So I think, it'll be up to 81 on the racecraft and 86 awareness as well. The only other thing we can do is just keep giving him races to up his experience stat. Now, in terms of R&D, I don't think there's any other upgrades we can get before we head into this weekend. We'll probably aim to look at another powertrain upgrade. I'll be honest, I'm tempted now to mainly focus on the power upgrades. You can see the chassis is still close to the midfield. The aerodynamics, again, is, pretty much in the midfield at the moment. We've got another upgrade going on both of those departments. But if we focus on putting as much power into the car as possible, perhaps that can give us a bit of a helping hand. Focus on one part rather than a lot of them there. So we're going to, try and get the intercooler upgrade on this weekend. We need just under 500 R&D points. But, round 3 of the season, though. Obviously back at the no longer new Vietnamese Grand Prix circuit in the My Team career mode storyline. But, let's dive in then here in Vietnam. 50. Before I forget as well, I would just like to thank everyone for the insane support on the video that went live yesterday, the opening round of Season 2. Obviously, unfortunately, with the way I have to record these, I'm basically running 2 to 3 videos ahead on this series. So I wasn't quite able to thank you guys in yesterday's Bahrain Grand Prix video, but it really does mean the world to me to see you guys still are enjoying this series as much as I am recording it. But anyway, free practice here from Vietnam. I still do very much enjoy this circuit, I'll be honest. Because it's good for racing as well, I've been very surprised with just how much hate it's got on F1 2020. That's not going to help us though. Can we be a bit cheeky? Oh, what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. Let's try that. It worked! Oh, that's quite funny. So, before we jump in then to qualifying, we are going to be able to get enough R&D points on to get the new intercooler upgrade. That should get us in line again, basically, with AlphaTauri and Mercedes. Now, I'm tempted to try and rush the development so we can get it before the... Actually, the Dutch Grand Prix is not even that power-orientated. China is, though, on the other hand, a 50% failure rate versus 25. We'll go with normal. We haven't got any need to risk it at the moment. But there we go. Then we've got another upgrade ready to go on the car. We've got 2 major upgrades and 2 minor upgrades currently going on, which should, if they all got on, would bring us in line, again, with about AlphaTauri or Racing Point. So we're just trying to keep up with the development race at the moment. But Vietnam, a very, very strong track for the AI. So hopefully we can have a good qualifying session here today and get through into Q2 again. Here we go then, ready for our first run in Q1. Obviously we've got to be careful through this final corner to start our lap. Our Season 1 lap time, a 1:36.6. So we need to be looking towards the 34s this weekend as we get a little bit loose through turn 1. But yeah, we'll wait and see as to what we can achieve here. Coming down through the S's then to finish the lap, just trying to ride the curbs where we can. In through the penultimate corner. That's a lot of curb there, I'll be honest, but we got away with it this time round. 4th gear through the final corner, up towards the finish line. It's going to be a 1:34.8. So near enough 2 seconds quicker than we were able to do back in Season 1, but still only good enough for 17th at the moment. Here we go then, final run in Q1. We need to try and keep it tidy. We only need a couple of tenths if we want to be at least within a shot of Q2, so hopefully we can find that. We were a little bit scrappy on our first lap, but that certainly hasn't helped us through turn 1. That's been a woeful line through there. Hopefully we can try and find a little bit on the exit at the very least. Try and ride the curb still. Get as close to the wall as you dare, and we have recovered a little bit, but we're still a 10th down as we exit out of Sector 1 here, braking just before the 100 board. Into the roundabout section, ride the curb in on the entry. That, again, a little bit optimistic on the curb use, I'll be honest, but we're trying to get it hooked up over 1 lap there. An okay run out onto the back straightaway, but we've still lost a bit of time. Coming down into Sector 3 then, we're still about 3/4 of a 10th down on our previous lap, so we're going to need an absolute whirly through here if we want to make it through into Q2. Just try and keep it nice, clean and tidy through the S's. They just come so thick and fast at you as we head through here. Still running a little bit wide, still struggling to get the front end rotated through, and I don't think it's going to be good enough. Look at that, a load of understeer. As we've got 1 more corner to go, then completely committed. We're going to find a tiny bit of time in the end, but it's nowhere near enough. And it's going to be P18 on the grid for the Vietnamese Grand Prix there. That has been an awful qualifying session. There was a lot more time on the cards, but just trying to get the 1 lap hooked up has proven near impossible this weekend. The car does seem to be struggling a bit. George Russell down in 13th at the end of Q1 there, but it's Matsushita, myself, remember we're championship leader at the moment, both Haas and both Williams out in Q1 there. That was not a good qualifying for ourselves, but you don't get any points for qualifying. Let's dive in then here for round 3 of the season from the Vietnamese Grand Prix.
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. A number of the 23 corners take their inspiration from other great circuits, hopefully creating plenty of passing opportunities. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and Leclerc, Albon, Stroll, Perez, and Daniel Kvyat, Gasly, Ocon, Kimi Raikkonen, and Russell, Sainz, Norris, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Mr. Monaco, Magnussen, De Vries, King, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
So here we are then on the grid, ready for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. And yeah, qualifying left a lot to be desired, I'll be honest, but hopefully we can just keep our head down and get a good result here today. Starting down in P18 on the grid. Yeah, we might be in for a bit of a tough race today, but a well-timed safety car might come in clutch like it so often does on F1 2020. We're going to try and make the one-stop strategy work this Grand Prix. Hopefully the mediums will last us quite nicely throughout the first sort of half of this race, going for a similar strat to what you would do at Bahrain. But yeah, we just need a nice, clean getaway. That'll be the key to success this weekend. Keep the front wing intact, avoid the walls, and yeah, see where we end up. Also forgot to mention, this is the first race being done on the new patch, so we have now got the reskinned Mercedes as well. But I think we're ready then to dive into this round 3 of the season here from Bahrain. If we can get points today, I'd be very, very happy. The 5 red lights are coming on then, and it is lights out, and away we go off to a respectable start. No, way too much wheel spin in the late stages there as we head down in towards turn 1. We got Williams and Haas just trying to dive bomb us in through the first corner. We've actually got a warning for a collision with our former teammate Jordan King there as we try to have a look right around the outside through turn 2 and turn 3. Oh, a little bit of locking up there from Magnussen as we head out now on to the first of the back straightaways. We have survived the start, but just like in Season 1, we haven't got off to a particularly good getaway there. There's a lot of cars in front on a set of the medium compound of tyres here. Lando Norris under some pressure from Nick De Vries as we try and do the up and under on K-Mag as we head out onto the back straight. A lot of wheel spin, struggling for grip and traction at the moment there as Magnussen, for some reason, bails out of that rather early on. Not too sure what's going on there for the Haas car. Struggling a bit with power delivery, perhaps, but we've survived the start of this Grand Prix. We're closing in on Norris and Nick De Vries as we reach the end of the back straightaway. Everyone's still just concertinaing up. Lando's going to try and make the move work. We get caught out on the exit curb, though, and can't get the power down to have a look past Nick. Oh, Nick De Vries braking rather early down in towards turn 1 there. That took us a bit by surprise, but we managed to accidentally go for the dive bomb in the end, and we're up past the Haas car. So we're back to where we started in this Grand Prix as we... yeah, we'll ignore that. But anyway, yeah, so we are still obviously on those mediums. We've got to remember that, so we probably should be a little bit slower than the cars around us at the moment. As long as we can keep in the DRS train, that'll probably be a key to a good race in the early stages. Oh, already got some yellow flags. Who's struggling as we head down in through Sector 3. I was a bit scared about coming through here in case someone's randomly on the line. No, it's Pierre Gasly out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Full course yellow. That's okay for us. Are we going to see in the AI diving in? No, we're not. So everyone, by the looks of it, is going to stay out. So safety car then is going to be coming in at the end of lap 4. I don't think it's going to be too long before we see most of the other runners. As Lando, what are you doing? Is that going to be a pen for us? Are we going to get away with that? I think we might have got away with that. Yes, it looks like we have, luckily, this time around, as Lando brake checked us a little bit in towards the final few corners, but it is green flag racing. Once again, here from Vietnam, a little bit of wheel spin as we try and get everything working back up to temperature at the final corner. On to lap 5 we go. Still sat down in 17th at the moment, but once again, this race is probably going to be one that requires a bit of patience. Lando and Sainz, both McLaren drivers, having a bit of a duel. Oh, Lando loses out on that one, though. A lot of wheel spin out onto the back straight. We're going to try and capitalise on this, get around the McLaren. There's one McLaren down. We might be able to get both in this situation. That'd be rather nice. As you can see, Sainz is going to go very, very defensive down the back straight, but just doesn't quite have the power to match us down into the braking zone. And we're up another couple of spots then, up into P15 of the Grand Prix. You've got to take every opportunity you can around this Vietnamese Grand Prix circuit, and that is exactly what we needed.
In front is 1.6 seconds.
Oh, first driver in then, Sergio Perez, the first man into the pit lane. So I think we're going to start seeing the AI coming in now. Starting to see a couple more then of the AI diving into the pits. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting them to go this far on the first set of these soft compounded tyres, but it's clear they were, because we just about get away with nicking the wall there at the final corner. I'm into 11th place in this Grand Prix, and I'm starting to wonder if perhaps a medium soft strategy is doable around this circuit if the AI are able to take their qualifying softs so far into this race. Oh, Matsushita, a bit of a wobble there as we head out onto the back straightaway. Hopefully we can try and get a run on him now with some slipstream. Obviously the Alfa Romeo, still I think the fastest car in a straight line on F1 2020. Come on, pick a side, Matsushita. Side by side down in towards the hairpin. We're going to be just ahead into the braking zone. A little bit deeper on the brakes, but he keeps the nose up the inside. Not one to give up the moves then, quite clearly, but we've done it. Round the outside we go and up into the points here in Vietnam on lap 9 of this race. Few more cars into the pits just around us, so we should be up in towards the top 5. If I'm not mistaken, there a bit of a wobble at the final turn. Yeah, we're going to be 6th place now in this Grand Prix. But yeah, we just got to try and keep these mediums in good nick. If we can get to sort of lap 16, I would consider trying to get some softs to the end. End of lap 10, I think we're going to see the last few of the runners into the pits. We've got Sebastian Vettel. Didn't even spot him all over the back of us. Obviously, he's had 2 DNFs at the start of this season, so he desperately would like a win here today. But is he going to have a look up the inside into 1? No, thinks better of it this time round. He does need to try and get past us. We're not going to try and hold him up. If he gets a run, then we're certainly, yeah, like I said, not going to try and do anything, because this weekend we just don't have the pace, as well as obviously the fact we're more focused on trying to score good points week in, week out. There we go, there's the run by Sebastian. We will see you later on in this race, mate. Here we go then, let's have a bit of a look then at the new Mercedes skin on F1 2020. I must admit, it does look incredible on that car. It just looks so sleek on a car, and at least, you know, obviously it's a car that is winning races as well in Formula 1, but hopefully, like I said again, we're not really going to try and do much to defend from Lewis Hamilton. If he gets the run, he gets the run. At the end of the day, both Mercedes on mediums, so they're going for a bit of a different strat to Sebastian Vettel as we, yeah, move across Hamilton ever so slightly accidentally there, but Hamilton flies past us nonetheless, and we drop back down into P3 of this race. And 1 lap later, we're just going to watch Bottas and Verstappen steamroll past us as we head down the back straightaway here. It's, yeah, rather depressing, I'll be honest, but hopefully soon we'll be able to fight with these guys week in, week out in this sport. But yeah, it seems that Ferrari and Mercedes have gone for alternate strats though in this Grand Prix. Ferrari opting for a double soft stint, Mercedes opting soft mediums as Ricciardo in the Red Bull on a set of hards behind. What's he got planned? Lap 16 then, these tyres have hung on in there, albeit just as you can see by the sheer amount of understeer we've got down in towards the final couple of corners. Max Verstappen, sorry, into the pits once again here, so he's probably going to be trying to go to the end. We are going to be trying to go to the end, so we might be in about a net 6th or 7th. I think we've still got a couple of people like Ricciardo that we're going to be able to go potentially to the end of this Grand Prix themselves. We just hopefully will come out just after this little train of, I think, 4 cars before the Alfa Romeo there. As you can see, 2.8 seconds stop wasn't ideal. They're going to fly past us, but we'll get a better run through the first corner. Will we be back out somewhere near the points? I think we're going to lose out just a little bit to all of them. There is Matsushita. We're going to slot in just behind the Alfa Romeo in this Grand Prix, but we're on much fresher rubber, so we hopefully should be able to capitalise, as that has not helped. Instantly damaging the front wing there. That has not been good, so now we're really going to struggle in the second half of this Grand Prix. And we're on hards as well, not even on softs. How did I not even spot that? This race is, yeah, been a bit up and down so far. That has not helped us. I think now we need a safety car if we want any chance of recovery here. Making big gains on Matsushita though, 213 miles an hour. We're going to move to the inside. We're going to completely misjudge the corner though. Matsushita's going to be able to get straight back past us. So it's, yeah, all going a bit pear-shaped at the moment, I'll be honest. We are going to dive it into the pits. We're going to follow Matsushita in, so we're going to be a long way back in this Grand Prix, unfortunately. But I'd much rather, to be honest, I don't think we'll lose much time in the end, going on to A, a much quicker set of tyres, and B, with a whole front wing. So we've actually got some rotation down in Sector 3. But I'm not looking good for points here. Perhaps our little point streak's over from the opening 2 races of this season. It seems that no one really has been able to get through all 3 races with no hiccups so far this championship, but it's going to be a 7-second stop in the end. We're going to be back out down in P20 of the Grand Prix. Make that last place for just a moment. We should be out ahead, though, of Jordan King with a bit of luck. There we go. So we're back down in P20, then, of this race. Oh, how things have gone from bad to worse here. Hopefully now we can try and get a run on Latifi nice and quickly. We really just can't afford to be stuck behind anyone at the moment. We'll now get some DRS off him. He's actually got DRS off Magnussen just in front. We might have to go for a bit of a send down into the hairpin. No, not quite close enough that time round, as you can just see how much Latifi struggles. Ooh, a little bit of contact. We'll try and get the run on the exit there. Actually nick the wall again. But we might be able to have a bit of a send into the S's. We don't want to be stuck behind the Williams going into here, and we've done it. Back up into P19. Magnussen struggling a bit through the first couple of corners. Might be able to sneak a send up the inside. Oh, he tries to turn in on me still. Not the most usual place to go for an overtake round here, but we've done it. Run to 18th. Next up then, Mr. De Vries. Hopefully, yeah, should once again be a pretty textbook move on another Haas car. We're just trying to take every opportunity we can get at the moment. Now we've got some DRS. He almost squeezes into the wall, but we hold on to it. This time round, up into 17th. Just trying to make places as quickly as possible. Next up, Sainz. Somehow new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I mean, I doubt we're going to get into the top 10, so it might be a bit irrelevant. That extra point that we won't even be entitled to, but it's potentially an extra point if we get a safety car. Come on then, Carlos, don't make this any more difficult than it needs to be, buddy. Should be able to get past him. The Spaniard down this straightaway. He's got no DRS. We're gaining 213 miles an hour as we head down in towards the hairpin there. Pretty much on the anchors at the 100 board. He's going to keep the nose there, but we should be able to get round him. And up into 16th. Bottas goes even faster than our personal best. On to lap 24, just 5 to go here from Vietnam. It's, yeah, been a bit of a quiet end, or second half of this Grand Prix, I should say. We're just trying to pick up places where we can at the moment on the alternate strat. And just look how little we're closing on Matsushita here. We might just be able to get Lando in front of him, but we will only try and get past the Japanese driver as soon as possible. Surely this time round we're able to get past Matsushita as we head down the back straightaway. Once again, 214 miles an hour as Matsushita tries to move across us just a little bit in the braking zone. Can we get the switchback on the Alpha? It's going to be a drag race down in towards the S's, but we should be past him. Is he going to keep the nose there? Yes, he is. Try and hold it right on the outside of the Japanese driver as we've hit the wall again. This is not what we need, and this just keeps getting worse. At this stage of the day, we're going to have to slam the door shut on Matsushita, but now we've basically got to try and drag a wounded car home. Up the inside as we head down into the chicane. Oh, a very, very aggressive move by him. We will match that with some aggressive defending as well. Try and keep it parked on the apex there as we head out onto the back straight. 3 laps to go here. We've got Sainz and Matsushita all over the back of us, and we're just going to try and sit in the middle of the road as best as possible. Here comes Sainz one side, Matsushita to the other. We're going to be 3 wide as we head down into the corner, and I've completely missed the apex. As if this race couldn't get any worse. We just keep making little mistakes. As our old mate Jolyon would say, you got to be alert on a street circuit. We'll get back past De Vries, but I'll be honest, I'm tempted just to bring the car into the pits and save the engine at this stage of the day. But we're only 2 laps from home, and so far, this team has never seen a retirement in Formula 1. So we'll probably try and drag it to the flag. I think De Vries is going to get past us, though. De Vries is going to have a look down in towards turn 1. Straight back up the inside goes the Haas car, and all these places we spent the last sort of 10 laps or so trying to gain. There's actually a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there between the pair of us. Oh, wasn't trying to go for a move there, but yeah, all these places that we've gained over the last 10 laps, we're just kissing goodbye to again at the moment. This is, yeah, not the way I wanted the Vietnamese Grand Prix to go, but racing is brutal. On to the final lap then, Magnussen. He's going to send it up the inside. We're down to P19 of this race. We haven't even held on to our grid position here, but it has been the perfect storm here from Vietnam, but we've only got one lap to go. Let's just get this thing to the flag. Going to be Valtteri Bottas then picking up the race victory here from Vietnam. We might try and get back past Magnussen if an opportunity we can, though. Lose even more of a front wing on the Haas, and now we've got basically a plank of wood at the front of the car. Then we're not giving up with it just yet, though. We might try and go for a bit of a cheeky send. Oh my god, that's a big lock-up. We just want to try and hold on to our grid position at this stage of the day. But yeah, we've got no front wing heading through the S's for the final time. Like I keep saying, it really has not been a particularly good day at the office, I'll be honest, as Magnussen, he's going to completely mug us off, and rightly so, with just 2 corners to go here from Vietnam. It has not been a good day. Unfortunately, that's the way racing goes sometimes. Through the final corner, it's P19 here in Hanoi.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Fin. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed. And a good job in traffic as well. I know that's at odds with the official decision, but I think they deserve some recognition on a day where both of these drivers are at the top of their game.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So there we are then, the end of the Vietnamese Grand Prix. And it is Bottas. He just missed out on pole yesterday, but fastest lap and race victory there, the full 26 points. No complaints from the Finn. Hamilton in P2, just 7 tenths back at the end of the day, and the first proper Mercedes battle we've had all year there. Vettel in third, Verstappen and Ricciardo having a good day out, up in P5 on the one-stop strategy ahead of Charles Leclerc. Again, a very, very good, consistent result from the Alfa Romeo. Stroll, Albon, Perez and Kvyat round out the top 10 there, with the Renaults just missing out. George Russell, a good quiet day out in P13. They're ahead of Norris and Matsushita there. Sainz, Nick de Vries, Magnussen, myself, Latifi and Jordan King round out the finishes there, with Gasly 2 races in a row. He's not been able to get to the flag. But championship-wise, obviously we lose our place at the top of the standings there. Bottas now back up into the title lead ahead of Hamilton and Verstappen getting back past ourselves. Somehow, though, still holding on to P4 ahead of Perez and Leclerc. There he jumps. Ocon, Ricciardo and Vettel jump past Albon, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Stroll, Norris, Russell, Matsushita, Sainz and Magnussen, as well as Nick de Vries there. As you can see, Jordan King and Latifi, as well as Pierre Gasly, still yet to get off the marks there. And constructors-wise, we drop all the way down into P5 after that tough race out. Still ahead of Renault, though, just about at the moment, but Racing Point still looking very, very good up in P3 there. And yeah, Mercedes now have double the points of anyone else after the first 3 races of the season there. Ferrari back, though, up into P2, where you'd probably expect them to be as well. But anyway, though, that is going to do us then here from Vietnam. Probably, yeah, our first really not good result we've had so far in this series. I definitely felt there was a lot more in the car today, but lacked pace, lacked consistency, and yeah, unfortunately, we paid the price. Sometimes a lucky safety car can't come and save you, and that race there is just how brutal Formula 1 can be. But we will be back tomorrow from the Chinese Grand Prix. That race always throws up something a little bit crazy, so make sure you get yourselves subscribed, and yeah, be back here tomorrow where we head to Shanghai. You guys do not want to miss it. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.